Blue Jeans is really weird because it says broadcasting in the top left, but you're not.
Now, yeah, you have to. Brings up the preview, and then you got to press like type in your shit, and then you can press go live. So now we're live. Um,
Yeah,
we're live in the group. So let me go
now we're
ahead and
live. What's up?
There we
go ahead
go.
and introduce yourselves, guys.
What's
What's up,
happening?
everyone?
Nick Robbins here, Balls back live, bringing back one of our favorite guests here. We'll give a couple minutes for people to jump back on. But
Woo.
man, Alex, it's been a couple months. When was the last time we spoke? That was a freaking great one, man. I got
So
dozens
actually,
of
I was
hands
looking
up.
that up because I wanted to know. So I looked up the Blue Jeans email that I got from you guys. August 1st was when we did that, and we ended up doing it on August 2nd. So about four-ish months ago. A lot has changed, obviously, since that time that we first spoke. But I know we provided major value on that first call. That's going to be the plan here today as well. Provide as much value as possible in the time frame that we are allotted. But yeah, man, that first call was amazing, and I'm excited to be back here. I appreciate you guys allowing me to be.
Oh man, so pumped to have you back. Shit, August, it seems like a lifetime ago. We've had so much transformation. I mean, we've had some serious growth in the last 4 months. We've also had some growing pains, some good things that come along with that, systems, processes, lots of new shit we're working on. It was so great to have you here last time, Alex. But for those who weren't here for the last call, man, first off, what we're going to be talking about today, prospecting and sales. Everybody's favorite topic. How do we get more clients? How do we get more shit? How do we get more dollars and charges coming in? It's my personal favorite topic. I know Alex loves it. So I'm super excited. He does a ton of great things with inbound prospecting that he'll get to. A lot of you guys have heard some of our cold prospecting techniques, but me and Balls have done that to a T, and we've generated hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars off inbound or on cold prospecting. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about going head to head. I'm even going to share with you guys a cold email campaign that Balls was there with me live at an event that we sent to a list of 250 people that got us 8 responses, 5 demos, and 3 sales collected for $9,000 a month residual. So what is that, $72,000 a year through one email that we sent. So I'm going to open with that, Alex. Let you know you got to catch up with that. But anyways, man, introduce yourself, brother. Talk a bit about you, what you do, and then we'll just jump right in.
Sure. So first of all, Alex Schlinsky, thank you guys for the introduction. Appreciate it. Appreciate being back here. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you are having a great December and closing out the year strong. That's really what we want to help you guys do out here today. Close out the year strong, build out a foundation for the new year, and get excited. I know a lot of people have a major amount of stress right now, not just business related, far outside of business, health insurance and taxes, and there's a whole lot of stuff, presents. But just enjoy this time. Don't be too worried or worked up about can't make sales in December, blah, blah, blah. Just allow yourself to build a foundation for 2018. That's what we'll be talking about here today, talking about inbound and cold prospecting. So what I do, I am considered the prospecting professor. I guess that's my own name, so I don't know if I could say I'm considered it, but I'm going to go with that. I'm the prospecting professor. I run an online mastermind called Prospecting on Demand. This is our shirt for Prospecting on Demand Hall of Famers. I think John is in here. He's a POD Hall of Famer. He came and joined POD from our first call. So what's up, John? Good to see you, brother. Basically, what we do in Prospecting on Demand is teach the best inbound and outbound, which means cold, prospecting methods available to create a system for your business so you can consistently generate leads, and then methods on how to convert those leads to monthly recurring clients on retainer. I don't want you to turn on a faucet of leads and then have no idea how to convert them. That is not effective. That's just as effective as saying, here's an email list, make them into clients. It doesn't really work that way. You have to really be able to put them together. That's what Prospecting on Demand is all about. We briefly spoke about this in our first call, which is if you go back on the Biz Not Bullshit page, you can go watch it. All the stuff we spoke about, still very valuable. Sure, we're going to rehash a lot of it today and give you some very new value and updated value. So that's really what we're going to be talking about. But one of the big things that I focused on in POD and Prospecting on Demand that I think makes us stand out and why Nick and Balls want me to be on here, most content that you purchase online coursework is services. Like, let me show you how to run an SEO agency. Let me show you how to do content marketing really well. Let me show you the best 5 ways to create video advertising. Look, you can do whatever service you want. At the end of the day, every service comes with the same need, leads. You need leads, and you need to be able to sell those leads on whatever service you're offering. Too many courses out there allow you to, here's the service. Oh, you want leads now? Ask your best friend. That's it, right? That's all they got for you. Oh, set up a cold email campaign. With what scripts? Where do I start? I don't know. Just do it. Just do it. Well, that doesn't work. Those methods are not effective. Now, you can generate leads and create opportunities with just some quick little things that we can talk about here today, but you need to really have a system. Develop a system consistently generating you leads, consistently generating those leads to become paying clients, whether that's you doing it yourself or someone doing it for you on your team. Ideally, you would not be the bottleneck, and you'll have a team doing these pieces of the puzzle for you. That's what prospecting on demand is all about. That's why I'm here today, to share with you guys some of these tips, tricks, and tactics. What I just want to start off with real quick here, and then we'll kind of jump into it. If anyone right now is in the phase of just starting their service, like I have a new service, whatever it may be, SEO, digital marketing services, consultation services, doesn't even matter. It could be something outside of relation to digital marketing, and you're not certain right now how to get a client. I know one of the first things that I get asked, and I know Nick and Balls will agree with this 100%, how do I get a client now? Like I just really desperately need $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, pay a couple bills. I'll be able to really compile that and then go from there. Like, what can I do right now? Well, the easiest answer and the fastest answer is don't be afraid of positioning. I hear way too many people like terrified of positioning. But if I position myself that way, will anyone, want me? You cannot expect leads or opportunities to just fall in your lap. It doesn't happen that way. You actually have to go out there and make something happen. Does that mean that you're going to automatically be the utmost expert in your field, that people are going to be searching out for you? No, but you're not there yet anyway. So why are you trying to pretend that you are? Like the simplest and most effective thing to do is send out a text to 10, 20 people you know, shoot them a message and say, I will pay you $500 right now if you forward me to someone that needs X, Y, and Z, and be very specific. If they know someone, they'll be happy to do that for you because they're either a friend, an acquaintance, a former coworker, whatever it may be, and they want an extra $500 because it's that easy. Fastest way by far to create opportunities. Someone joined POD Elite, which is my mastermind group where I do a little bit more one-on-one consulting, and he was asking the same question, like, how do I get the fastest return? I said this exact thing. Send this message out, just shoot it over, see what happens. No joke. Literally the next call we had, 2 days later, he had a call scheduled with someone that needed an app developed over a month. Now, anyone that has developed apps knows that trying to have an app developed over a month is an extremely difficult thing to do. This is a 3, 6, even 12-month process, year process. He was able to close that client on a 1-month deal for $40,000 because it was such a quick deal. This was just from a text message. So if you're coming on here trying to learn all the extra little nitty-gritty tactics, whatever, but you've skipped out on just simply messaging the people you know, your personal network, what the hell are you doing here? Mute the damn thing right now and just message people. Just message them. Literally. Just shoot a text. Hey, just in case you don't know, happy holidays. Hope you're doing well. Just in case you don't know, I offer X, Y, and Z. Do you know anyone that needs that? I'd be happy to pay you $500 or $200 in referral if you can help me out. Appreciate you. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Okay, so some people won't answer you. Some people will say, I'll keep it in mind. And other people might say, you know what? Brad might need your help. Let me connect you to. Brad might be the first client that you get paid. So start there. That's where I wanted to get started here. Nick, Balls, let's keep this going, guys.
No, man, you just dropped so much. Before we go into I've got so many things on what you just said right there. But first off, I want to say healthcare fucking sucks. We're buying healthcare for all of our employees right now. I actually met this morning with our healthcare representative. It is just disgusting and disturbing what is happening in the healthcare marketplace. I don't even want to go into it. It's going to cost at least $5,000 a month, at least for me to cover that next year. But anyways, healthcare sucks. So with that, guys, he just said so much right there. One, he just gave you a tip that you can start using. You might have heard it before, but have you done it? Have you actually gone out and asked it? Have you messaged and told everyone, hey, I'm offering X, Y, and Z service? Now, the first point I want to touch on, when he says, are you offering X, Y, and Z service, he mentioned briefly, get clear on your offer. You need to be very, very, very clear. You can't 100%. Just say, oh, I run Facebook ads for people, or I run AdWords for people. What the hell does that mean? I generate 10 customers a month, and for this niche, specific niche. Guys, get specific. The number one thing you guys are going to hear me, I just got back from an event with John Logart, and it got drilled in my head again. One of the biggest things you guys have heard me say a ton that has led to the success of our agency has been we're extremely niche down. So pick a niche, stick with it. If you need to be the niche expert, as he said, positioning-wise at the beginning and multiple different till you find your good one, that's fine. but don't offer yourself as, yeah, I just run traffic on the internet. What the hell does that mean? You know, you got to be clear. You need to know exactly who you're going after, and you need to tell your friends. If you're going to ask your close circle of people, which I suggest you do, especially getting started, make it very, very clear. Because if you say, hey, do you know any business owners that need customers? Well, the next thing you're going to know, you're going to get some wacky ass thing that, you know, you might not be able to generate leads for, or dog groomers or whatever. Actually, dog groomers you can do ads for dog groomers, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to end up with some random stuff. So choose a niche. Say, I do it for gym owners. I do it for yoga studios. I do it for chiropractors. I do it for dentists. I do it for landscaping, pest control. Choose something in the local business arena and say that you do it for that and see what comes out with it. All right, or at least give them an example. You know, make it easy for people to introduce you to them and be very clear on your offer. I'm going to talk a lot about clarity of your messaging here today because it's super, super, super important. I think Alex can, you know, agree with me on that. And 100%. Then the other thing I want to touch upon, which Alex was alluding to a little bit, is because it's the number one thing we get asked. How do we get clients? How do we sell? How do we get started? How do we get going? I get it. It's a big hurdle. It took me a while to get over it. But looking back, people overcomplicate the shit out of this. You know, the only way you're going to get clients is if you ask and if they know you exist. Alex, I know you talk a lot about inbound stuff and being omnipresent, and a lot of that we'll get to, but you have to ask. So if you don't want to set up a cold email blast, you know where to go. Like he said, ask family and friends. Be specific with it. And then from there, when you do move to cold email, you do move to cold calling, whatever it is to get those niches, which, again, you don't have to do in this day and age. It just can work. You got to be super clear on your messaging. That's the biggest thing I feel like when people they position themselves all wrong. I'm glad you used the term position because it's something I have been preaching for the last 6 weeks. Some of you guys on here may or may not see my ads everywhere. If you ever click on my website, you're going to see me fucking everywhere. And I'm just getting started. I'm going to be coming down your throats. I'm on YouTube. I'm going to be on your YouTubes, Instagrams, all over the place. Positioning is important. So, Alex, I want to kick it over to you. Talk about what you talk about when it comes to positioning. I'll talk about it a little bit. You know, I know Balls has plenty to chime in here too, but I'm glad you brought that up. So let's talk about positioning first off, because that is the key, really, to selling anyone. You have to position yourself at least being somewhat confident. If you show up and you're like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but like, I mean, it's going to be really tough to sell anybody.
So two things. First of all, see a couple of people that I know on here. So what's up, Lewis? Been a while since I've spoken to you. Hope you're doing well. And Adam, POD member. Hope you're doing well, my man. Two things that I want to mention that you just said. I went to an event this past week also. Great event by Steve Hopper. Great guy. And one of the big things that he was saying, and I love it because it's the most common sense thing ever because everyone overcomplicates it. He had it in a huge slide. It was like a massive 70-foot screen. And all it said was, you get what you ask for. Too many people just expect that these opportunities are just going to happen just because. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to ask. You have to create the opportunity. I have people ask me about sales, right? And we can dive into this moving forward, but I'll get to positioning here in a second. But I have people ask me about sales. They're like, how do you get a close on the first call? Like I'm struggling to get the close. I say, okay, well, do you make your offer? Oh, never. I never make the offer in the first call. I'm always doing a discovery call first. Why? Why? You're not allowed to ask? What, suddenly because you ask the opportunity is destroyed? What if you asked, made an offer, and then they're like, I'm not going to make a choice on this call, but let's get on a secondary call and go from there. Now, even if you're not ready to do objection overcoming and you're not ready to push the offer down their throat, at least you asked, right? You have to ask. You must start by asking. Now, in terms of the process of positioning, this is definitely a very important factor in your business, but there's two sides of it. There's positioning and there's specializing. And I want to make a very clear differentiation between the two. Positioning is how you promote yourself. Perception is truly everything. I strongly believe in perception. Nick, you posted about this in your group the other day. You said, what do you think about cursing in your marketing? Why'd you ask that question? It's very simple. It all has to do with positioning. If someone reads a post that Nick writes and there's F-bombs all across it and they are turned off by that, that is a lost opportunity. But if his audience, the people he wants to be speaking to, resonates very strongly with that, then it works in that scenario. Now, positioning doesn't mean how you position yourself everywhere, all the time, always. It's impossible. You position and change yourself slightly per audience, per model. That doesn't mean you become a slime ball and become a different person. It just means that when you're eating dinner with your grandmother and when you're eating dinner with your best friend, are you the same exact person? The answer is no. You are not the same exact person. That's what the reality is. with your grandmother, you're talking about Mahjong and the latest movies. Well, at least I'm talking about Mahjong with my grandmother. You're talking about Mahjong, movies, business, with your friends. Who knows what you're talking about? Hobbies that may not be appropriate to speak about with your grandmother. Now, that's positioning. It's just about how you position yourself and the perception of who you are. Now, online, in terms of how you position yourself online, that's more related to specializing. And that's what Nick and Balls do very well. Focus on, here's what we do. We crush this. We can help you with this. If you need other help, doesn't mean we can't help you. Doesn't mean we don't know someone that can help you. This is what we do, though, specifically, right? So when you come to me and you say, Alex, what do you do? I say, I help you with prospecting, sales, setting a foundation for your business. Okay, that's what I do. That's who I am. Does that mean I can't help you with something else? Of course not. That's just how I position myself, where I've specialized in. Now, in terms of the positioning that I was talking about with posting on Facebook or sending that text message out, a lot of people get worked up about the idea of, I'm nervous that people won't believe I'm an expert if I have to post something like that. That's not the case. People bootstrap businesses all the time. People sometimes don't want to invest in a credit card because they're nervous that the business won't work. That's okay. Maybe, look, you're not willing to take that leap of faith that someone else might be because of whatever your financial situation might be. No problem. Nick, myself, we're not going to call you out and say you're doing the wrong thing. That's not the case. Doesn't mean you can't go on Facebook and post, hey, I do this for this type of business, and I'd love if you, would need my help, let's get on consult. Or if you know someone, I'll pay you $500 in referral. And then if someone comes to you and says, well, I am the referral, can you just, pay me $500 less for my first month or charge me $500 less? No problem. People look at that and say, oh, that person has no positioning. They clearly don't know how to get clients. It's not the case. You're just looking to start your business out. You can delete that post in like 3 months if you want. It doesn't make a difference. But no one's going to read that and say, he posted on Facebook, I can't possibly work with this guy.
No. So I got to jump in because I've seen some people talk about this. First off, I saw John Lagar, if you're still on the call, my man, clarity, niche, all this shit. Thank you so much for really driving all that stuff home. Amazing event last week, dude. Everything incredible. So, he's the one who really opened my eyes to the clarity, why it's so important. But what I want to talk about is the whole, discounting, like you said, $500 off. I've seen some posts in other groups where they're like, oh, everyone's giving internet marketers a bad name when they're offering to generate free leads for a local business or whatever. Guess what? We built a multi-million-dollar business on generating free leads for a local freaking business. This shit can work. Now,
one thing on top of that too, Nick, who gives a shit what anyone else says?
Don't care.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Do what you got to do.
Yep, exactly.
Who's putting food on the table for your family? Who's paying rent in your house? The guy that's talking crap on the internet or you?
Yep.
So who's going to matter? The people that are on here today, hopefully motivating you to take the right steps, or the people that are going to be on a call or on a post online that says, oh, what you're doing is the wrong way.
Yeah, our digital marketers suck. God, the ClickFunnels group is just a cesspool of garbage these days. I just got to say. I love ClickFunnels. We're certified partners, 2 Common Club members. I love it, but that group is just garbage. What were you going to say, Ball? Sorry, we've been dominating.
To what you guys have been speaking of, Alex especially, when I first got involved with John at his first workshop last year around this time, a little like last year, one of the things he said is put up together a list of your familiar people, like friends, relatives, anybody that you had any contact with, and send them out this specific email. And I picked up some nice deals from that.
100%. I'll give you guys a good scenario. So speaking in the second half of 2017 was a big focus of mine. Did a couple in the early year in March, got paid a very nice amount to the point that I'm saying this is something I really want to push forward in the coming months. So what happened was, to get started, I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the best methods to create new opportunities for speaking? And I thought, okay, well, let's practice what I preach. Let's just reach out to the people I know first. I think that's probably the best thing I can do. Now, I know some people that, own or run run Chamber of Commerce for their cities in Florida. I live in Florida. I'm willing to make the drive. Is that something I can do? So I reached out to some of them. Most of them said that it's not an opportunity. However, here is what you can do, right? So even if the opportunity doesn't get landed, that doesn't mean you can't learn from the opportunity or someone else has a different way for you to get it. Now, here's the end result of what happened. My mom, actually, after telling her, I'm trying to get more opportunities. What are you thinking about? Do you have any ideas on this? Do you know someone? She said, why don't you reach out to our old neighbor, someone I have not spoken to in maybe, 10 years. Why don't you reach out to him? He runs a pretty large business, and he actually runs an event annually that might be needing of your speaking opportunity. So reached out to him. He said, you know what, Alex, I'm actually looking for a keynote speaker for our event in February. Can you make that at this date, for this time, for this budget, and this price? Yes, 100%. Let's do it. That was simply just by utilizing my personal network. No effective strategies, no really effective cold outreach method, nothing. It was just utilizing my actual network. That's it. You can actually do that right now. A great time to do that is the holiday season too. You might be going home, being with parents and friends and family that you might not have seen for some time. Ask them, who in your network do you know that you've spoken to about their business that they're struggling with that could potentially use my help? That is an opportunity. Don't just let those opportunities slip away because you're unwilling to positioning.
I want to jump in here because I feel like people get like MLM worry. Because, every MLMer in the world for the last 30 years has been like, oh, reach out to your family and friends. This is not the same shit,
No.
Like, you're able to, and a lot of it comes down to the confidence in it. And, what if it doesn't work? Go figure it out and make it work, you're literally never going to know and never going to get anywhere without asking, without jumping off cliffs. You guys know we got our saying back here, burn the fucking boats if you want to take the island. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I know a lot of this is fear-based. Really, a lot of sales and a lot of the issues that happens in general, especially from the cold outbound reach, is fear-based stuff. People are afraid to put themselves out there. So what you got to remember is we have a very, very special skill set here. People who can generate customers for businesses. It is always going to be needed. It is an unbelievably valuable skill set, and you need to start believing in just affirmations, whatever it fucking takes, to realize that this is super important, and that there's businesses out there that rely on our company specifically, to put food on the table for their family. So we're very important, and we take it very responsibly, but we have confidence because we know we can do it. So I just wanted to jump in there because as we were talking, like, man, I bet people are afraid MLM-wise because, you hear family, friends reach out, and you know that that's happened to every single one of us, probably, especially all of us entrepreneurs. Most of us have probably been in an MLM at one point or another. I know I have.
So let's talk fear and then the next steps as to where you can get started with some of these methods. In terms of fear, like Nick said, a lot of people get motivated by different things. I think fear is one of the largest and biggest motivators across all types of individuals in the entire planet, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, doesn't really matter, high schoolers, college students, doesn't matter if it's related to money, related to, relationships. It can be really related to anything. Fear is a massive baseline and motivation tactic for a lot of people. Other people do the opposite with fear. They get crumpled by it. They allow it to destroy them. If you know yourself well enough, which is a critical aspect as an entrepreneur, not just as a person in general, which is very important, but as an entrepreneur specifically, if you're relying on yourself to build out a business to provide for yourself and your family, you really need to have introspection. You need to have insight as to the type of person that you are, your skills, your weaknesses, where your nicks and ticks are, right? These things are very important. So one big thing that I always recommend is understanding what you're most motivated by. For me, fear is not my motivator, which is, I think, rare. Most people are motivated by fear. For me, it's the fear of not feeling like I've accomplished something. That's always been my biggest fear. And you want to know the funniest thing? The first time I ever realized this was when I was in, I think maybe middle school. I'd accomplished a project that was a massive workload. I accomplished it and I felt amazing about it. And I remember calling my dad and telling him, I feel incredible. I feel like literally like I took drugs. Like I feel amazing. I feel so good about myself for doing all of that work. That sense of accomplishment is an amazing feeling. Now, in business, when you get a sense of accomplishment accompanied by a nice fat check, it even makes it better. So that is my biggest motivation. You need to find what your motivation is and really use that as fuel to continue pushing forward. But if you consistently find yourself, placate, like you're just done with life, you're not interested, you're not motivated, you have to change something up. You must. It's a requirement. Whether it's speaking to someone, a friend, a family member, being open and honest with someone, that's where it really starts, or just looking at yourself in the mirror, like Nick said, and just start with affirmations. But you can't just continue to give up. I see way too many people in the industry do that. Nick, myself, nor balls are going to come on here and tell you it's the easiest thing in the world. Everything you can do is right at the palm of your hands. It's not true. There's work that's involved. There's work that's involved, but you can accomplish these things.
Yeah, so I want to jump in, then we'll 100% move to cold tactics, because in my opinion, you got to have the right mindset before you're going to get anywhere. One of my biggest mentors and one of my favorite marketers on the planet right now, Alex Becker, anyone who knows me knows I talk about him all the time. He says this shit perfectly. He's like, is it going to be easy? Hell no. Is it going to suck? Absolutely. But is it fucking worth it? What's the alternative? Eating dog shit for the next 40 years and not being able to pay your rent, family? Do the shit. Pick up the phone. Send the email. Put out the post. Whatever it's got to be. Because what's the alternative? The alternative is going to be so much worse than actually going out and doing the thing. You know, so just really realizing that. Just think about the alternative. Do we want to do this next 20, 30, 40 years? Or do we want to make something happen? Do we want to have life in our control? Because, guys, it is possible. In 0 to 18 months, I've seen it happen. You know, and again, we've seen it. It's absolutely exploded. If you just go out, find a groove, you don't give up, and you've got the right mind. And Alex makes a great point. Find your why. What motivates you? I know that's all wooby-jooby and all that stuff, but it's
very true. Very
crucial. Important. No, it's crucial.
So one other thing, and then let's move into these methods. I think the biggest thing also to understand is all of us have experienced major failure, not only just major success. So when you come on and listen to anyone ever that you've ever listened to that had any inkling or insight whatsoever, they failed majorly before. Multiple times, likely. I have failed so many times I can't even express, but I don't express failure. Instead, I'm focused on what was that learning experience so I don't make that mistake again. Does that mean I never make the same mistake again? No, obviously I make the same mistake a couple times. It happens every once in a while, but that's not what your focus is. Your focus is on continually learning and moving forward. Nick just said 18 months. In a 12-month period of my life, I went from a journalist, sports journalist, doing what my dream job was at the time, dream job of being a Miami Dolphins media member, NFL credentialed media member, making under $30,000 a year, to owning a digital marketing agency, starting prospecting on demand, and making a six-figure year happen. I think I made like $112,000. From 30 to that in no time, I didn't think that was feasible.
I got to interrupt you because I forgot about our connection. 2 years ago, I was selling for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was my dream job. In professional sports, I made $43,000 when I was the top salesman on the staff by 40%. Thank you to my leaders and management over there, if you guys ever watch this, for motivating me. I saw my pay stub December 2015, and within 24 months, we'd have a multi-million-dollar agency. So, guys,
exactly.
This can change quickly.
It's feasible. Nick and I have a quite similar story. I live here now, Nick, in Tampa. I live 5 minutes.
I'll be out there next month. But let's jump into some tactics, man. I know we can go back and forth. I'm coming out in February. I'll let you know for sure.
Beautiful. So here are a couple things that I want to just throw out as things that you must be doing in your business. Now, first of all, do we want to talk? What do you want me to talk about first? Cold or inbound?
Let's see. Let's start with cold and then go to inbound.
So we already talked about the first method in cold, what I like to call quick wins. First method in cold, personal network. Just set up a 10 to 20 person message blast. Message should not be longer than it would take to read 2 minutes long. Max should be like 3 paragraphs. Very simple. They can look at it, read it, say yes, no, maybe so, or not. Done, offer, get it on, and go with it. I'd follow up with that text by email as well, and then I'd maybe call the people that you really know and just follow up with those people as well. Simple little method, definitely will create opportunities without a doubt. That's one. Now, in terms of your standard cold outreach strategy, I'm going to share with you what I tell the POD members and how you can build out your foundation. For 99% of business owners and entrepreneurs that I speak to, and probably most everyone here, LinkedIn is the #1 cold outreach method. It is a requirement. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. You must go directly to LinkedIn. It is a requirement. You must be doing LinkedIn. Now, here's how you do it very simply. First of all, you set up a professional profile. This is not a Facebook page. You don't have a picture of you and your dog. You have a professional photo of yourself. Second, this is not a resume. No one gives a crap what school you went to or what you did at McDonald's. They want to know what you can do for their business right now. So your actual name is going to be your name and whatever you are in the business, not Nick Robbins, CEO. It's going to say Nick Robbins, your lead generation machine or anything of that nature. Subheading under the name is going to be a call to action to create someone to think about what you're going to offer. If you go look at my page right now, it will say Alex Schlinsky, your prospecting coach, and it will probably say something along the lines of, are you in need of help for lead generation? Reach out to me or message me here. Simple, to the point. Someone that sees that will say, I should reach out to that person, right? Rather than, oh, this is just a list of everything that this person has accomplished. Summary, simple call to action again. That's it. Now, how you actually go about doing LinkedIn prospecting, that's an entire call we can do. But very simply, all you have to do is go on LinkedIn, search on the search bar. You don't even need a premium profile. You can have it for free. Search on the top of the profile for the type of business that you're looking out for. Let's say you want to work with lawyers in your area. Recommend not doing lawyers on LinkedIn, just as a side note, but let's just say you wanted to do lawyers, specifically personal injury. You search personal injury, you put in your area, Tampa or wherever you live, and then you find all the people that match that. What do you do then? You connect with them. What do you do after you connect with them? Go on Facebook and connect with them there too, because they might check Facebook more than they check LinkedIn. Guess what else you should do? Once you connect with them on LinkedIn, and after you send a message to them, grab their email and then send them an email too. Now, how you compile this and make this a strategy rather than it being completely random is putting it down on a calendar and actually executing prospecting 60 minutes a day. Nick, myself, Balls, we can share with you for the next 3 hours 500 different methods. But if you do nothing and you do not implement and you do not put it on a calendar, it's meaningless. You actually must put on a calendar daily 30 to 60 minutes of prospecting. There's too many people that will get on a computer at 9 a.m. and say, now what? Okay, that funnel.
Should I make a cold call? Should I pick up the yellow pages?
What do I do? And then you sit there for an hour, you look at Reddit, go back on Twitter, you're back on Instagram, you go back on a group on Facebook and try to find an opportunity. You're not doing anything. Go on LinkedIn 30 minutes a day. Even if you don't buy any courses, you know nothing about LinkedIn, just message people. Just message people and then follow up with them on Facebook and via email. This is what I call in Prospecting on Demand the carpet bomb method. Now, how I track it, it's very simple. You can either use a CRM, like Agile, ActiveCampaign, whatever it may be, but you can also literally just use a Google Sheet. Your goal should be to reach out to 10 to 20 business owners every day. Now, in terms of follow-ups, if you message them on Facebook, email, and on LinkedIn, and then you cold call follow-up, but it's not a cold call because it's actually a follow-up call. Hey, I messaged you here, here, and here. Did you see that? Wanted to get in touch with you. Then, very simply, if they're not answering those 4 outreaches in a single week, just move on. They may answer you at their own pace. Delete the damn list and restart at the next week. You will book calls every single week if you do this, and you will create sales. Couple things on there to note that are very important in terms of cold outreach and what I call my cold outreach guide. Most important thing, value up front. Value is required. There's a reason Nick, myself, and Balls are willing to come on here at 7:30 p.m. at night. We're not coming on here to offer you anything, but we're going to come on here to provide value for you. That increases our authority, our positioning. You're interested in what we might have to offer. We don't have to offer anything for that to happen. You just might be interested to do that. Last time I came on here, some people joined POD because of it. Awesome. I didn't make an offer. I'm not going to make an offer today. The reason that you offer value is to show that you are capable of helping someone. Utilize your skill set. Fine-tune your skill set. If you don't utilize your skills, then by the time you get a client, you're going to have no idea what the hell to do anyways, right? So value up front. After that, always remember it's about the business. It's not about you. So you're not writing in those messages, I, me, or my business. You're writing about them. So it's you and your business and your clients. It's always about them. Think about them being the most selfish person possible. When they're reading this, if everything says my business can help you and my business can generate leads and my business has worked, well, I don't care about your business. I care about my business. How can you help my business? That's what they want to see. That's what people resonate with. That's what you need to be doing. If you go right now on Facebook and look at all the very popular ads, the ones that have the most social proof, guess who they're talking to? You. Not about me, not about myself, about you. Now, there's certain ones, obviously, about someone's story that really resonates, but this is a slightly different process. We're talking about cold outreach. They don't care about you. Same as much as they don't care about you when they go on their LinkedIn. They care about how you can help them. Finally, with cold outreach, remember this, and this is probably the most important thing to recall. You are not the business's priority. However, the lead is your priority. That is a very critical thing to recall as you do prospecting. If you believe that you're the priority to these people, you will never succeed in prospecting because you're going to think that why didn't they answer me on that first LinkedIn message? Why didn't they answer me on my first Facebook? I have a quick win challenge for Prospecting on Demand. Go to quickwinchallenge.com and it starts sending you these free videos for quick wins. I reached out to some of the people that started and I said, hey, have you gotten any results from someone on Facebook? The guy says to me, No, no one answered me. I say, okay, did you do your follow-up? Did you reach back out? Did you try to call them? Did you try to make another offer? No, I didn't do any follow-ups. So what, you sent one message one time and you think just by magic that they're automatically going to answer? It's like baseball. Look, I'm not a baseball fan, but when you step up to the plate, there's percentages, right? Even in baseball, the best baseball players in the world, they don't even average 50%. I don't think no one in history has averaged half the amount of times they've hit the ball versus the amount of times they haven't. Never, right? Never happened. The average, like every year, the highest is in the like 37%. So you look at that and think, 37%, that's terrible. But what happens if you're reaching out to 1,000 people and 370 of them reach back out to you? Can you handle 370 calls right now? Can you handle 37? Can you handle 3? Think about that process. You've got to continue stepping up to the plate. You've got to keep following up. Anyone that would watch this right now and they know me personally that I'm making a baseball metaphor would die of laughter because it's my by far least favorite sport, but it's such a true metaphor. Such a true metaphor. You've got to keep stepping up to the plate. Sometimes you might hit a couple singles, might get someone to be interested, might get someone to say, I'm not interested, and then they provide value to you back to share why you could have done better, and then you might hit a home run. Someone might tell you right off that first message, thank God you messaged me. I'm in desperate need. Let's get on a call tomorrow. And things happen. These happen all the time.
Yep.
This happens all the time.
So many great things here. Before I go into some of the specifics, I do want to say we actually did have some people from the group join POD last time, man. One of them even wrote like an amazing testimonial on the chat today, you know, talking about how he helped you build a new business, got leads, clients, and smashing revenue targets. Martin Rogers down there was talking about that. It's freaking
Martin's
awesome.
a great guy. Much love, Martin.
Yeah, I love it, man. So, guys, how many groups you been in where you've heard about a LinkedIn strategy for this? And it's not something I personally use, but I know it's successful because I talk to the people who work with Alex and over there. You just gave away a free way to go about and do it. Hit them from every channel. That's something you're going to hear me talking about a lot coming over the next year is being everywhere all the time on every channel. You want to be in touch with them. So you go on LinkedIn, you talk to them there. Then you message them on Facebook, and then you email them, and then you send them a direct mail piece, and then you call them, especially if you know they're good, qualified candidates. Now, this is very similar to what I did. I used a little bit different methods, but it was very targeted approach, very personal approach versus, the bulk email process that I know Balls has had a ton of success with. But sometimes, guys, we just overthink it. One message at the right time can literally lead to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I'll give an example. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't know. We were in New York City, and we sent out, I don't even remember when it was, but we sent out an email, and I have it pulled up here. Literally said, hold on, I gotta pull this up. It was a 2-sentence email that we sent out to a list of people that I had. And we got, like I was saying earlier, 8 responses, 5 demos.
And while you're doing that, anyone that's using LinkedIn, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Just write LI. I would love to know how many people are
Dude,
using
I bet
LinkedIn.
nobody is. Nobody's talking about LinkedIn that I'm seeing anyways. Like, almost nobody, seriously.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's got a great tool. Business owners are on there, So real quick, while I'm looking this up, do you suggest when people are setting up their profile, do you suggest that they niche down while on LinkedIn as well and say, I'm your XYZ lead gen expert, or what would you say to that?
Yeah, I do recommend that. Here's the thing that I always recommend. So I get this question a lot because people kind of pivot quite a lot with their niches unless they find their niche that they're really successful with, which is completely understandable. Everyone that's watching, if you've switched many times, it's okay. It's not a problem. You're capable of generating leads for multiple businesses. The reason you niche is to make your systems easier for you, so you don't have to recreate the wheel every time. That's all it is, so everyone understands. I get a lot of people asking me about that. It's very simple. Now, on LinkedIn, what I recommend is just having a Google Drive. I literally have one for mine. LinkedIn Google Drive, where each section of it is just what niche you'd be in. So, for example, it would say, Alex Schlinsky, your chiropractic marketing expert. Alex Schlinsky, your prospecting coach. Alex Schlinsky, your legal consultation coach, whatever it might be. So you just have basically the pieces of the puzzle for each niche, so you can easily switch it at any time. You could literally switch your profile in 5 seconds if you have that. So you have the name, the call to action, and the same very similar summary with just maybe 1 or 2 different words based on the lingo they utilize, and that's it. So literally the simplest thing. I probably have on my drive, I probably have like 5 or 6. Because I have someone on my team actually go ahead and do LinkedIn prospecting through my own account. And when we utilize it for different niches, if we feel like we want to change it, we'll just change my account, and we'll go from there. One thing that's a little annoying to change is the banner. So the banner could be less niched if you wanted to, unless you're 1,000% confident in your niche. And just as much, you can create 5 different banners, but that's kind of annoying in my opinion. It's not as easy to just like write 2 sentences versus creating a new banner. But in your banner, very simply, you just want to have a call to action, clear as day what you are and what you're offering. Pretty simple. It looks to me like we've got Chris, Alicia, Alex, Matt, a couple people doing. I love it. Jack is creating his account now. Chris said something that I want to bring up here. He said, I'm actually doing it for clients, people who pay you to do it for them. This is very important. So done for you LinkedIn prospecting is becoming a new opportunity. A lot of business to business niches don't have that much success on Facebook or Google advertising because of the size of the company. So like, for example, I'm working with someone right now that's an accountant and he wants to do nationwide advertising on Google. Now, the reason I have a huge grin on my face is because you can't do nationwide advertising on Google if you're a small accountant in Tampa, Florida, because you're going to be going up against the juggernauts like Intuit and QuickBooks and TurboTax and Bench.com. You cannot compete with them. They will beat you every single day of the week consistently. You can do a local one just in your area, but he's talking about nationwide. So I told him, do you know your ideal customer avatar? Yeah, they're 25 to 40 years old. They're the CEO or owner of a company, and they live here. Oh, well, ding, ding, ding. All of those are things that I could search on LinkedIn, and I could do that for you from your profile, reach out to them and book calls for you. Would you want that? Yes. This is a service that is really brand new in the industry. A couple people in POD have tried it. Shout out to Giedris Orcladis and Paul Kimball. Both of them have utilized it and built just their business just doing that. And that can be an offer anywhere from $1,000 a month to $5,000 plus. And it's a great new offer. Chris, I love that you're doing that. Chris, do you have any clients that you're doing it with for now, and how's the results going? Would love to hear that. That's great. Kenneth asked, on LinkedIn, if you don't have an LLC incorporated or a website yet, is it still possible to create credibility? 1,000%. You should be doing that without a question. You don't need to have an LLC to make money online, although just for understanding legal purposes, do it. There's no reason not to. It costs nothing. It's like $100.
Get set up right, because when you start making money, then the tax man will come in.
And I'm telling you this from experience. Very quick side story. You'll love this one, okay? Shira and I, we got married. When we got married, our biggest goal was to create money over the next 6 months to take a month off and go to Europe. We accomplished that, but only by the skin of our teeth. The month before we left in May. The month before is April. What's April? Tax month. Yay, okay. So I went through the entire year without paying any taxes like an idiot because I didn't know. And I get a call from my tax guy that we owe $5,000 in tax taxes. That was the $5,000 I had saved for the trip we're about to take in 2 weeks. So I ended up, getting on a payment plan with the IRS, which is something you never want to do. But the point of that is don't mess around. Just get the LLC, get everything situated. It will cost you less than, I think, like $200. I don't know what it would cost outside of Florida, but I think in Florida it's like $130 to do an LLC.
The main point of the incorporate thing is don't hold off prospecting because you don't have one. Yes, get it done, but don't stop your prospecting. Real quick, I want to go back to LinkedIn, but I want to share everyone on here. I'm going to share with you a 3-sentence email that was constructed by John at his event a couple weeks ago that we sent to a list of 250 people, generated I think like $9,000 in revenue that day, and we'll see where it turns into month over month. Hey, God. That was the first line, right? Really complex. The next line, we've got a system that guarantees at least 30 customer inquiries every single month on autopilot. Can we talk? ? And then down below, P.S. We generate 2.5 to 3 million in customer acquisition every month, and we would like to send some of those customers to you. Reply with your phone number to talk. 4 sentences.
Love that. So I have a very similar one that's shorter and very good for Facebook outreach or LinkedIn outreach, and it's very simple. And just simply you message someone and say, hey, can you handle 5 to 10 more clients, and be specific about what their clients are. So if you're reaching out to a chiropractor, hey, can you handle 5 to 10 more chiropractic clients or decompression clients this month? If you're reaching out to an automotive company, hey, can you handle 5 to 10 more car count this month for your auto repair shop? There is never going to be a time that someone won't answer, yes, I could use that. Now, here is the very important key differentiator and factor here. How you transfer from this yes to now, how can I make you interested in my offer? Here's the big reality. You do not dive in and choke them with your offer. Let me tell you how much I could sell you all this stuff and blah, blah. That's not what you do. Say, okay, well, if you can handle it, why don't you have those extra 5 or 10 new clients this month? I'd love to get on a call with you to discuss that and see how I can help you generate more leads for your business. Now, most of the time, you will get a decent amount of people to get on a call with you. And when you position that to someone, it's very hard for them to answer the question. You say, Nick, if you told me that you can handle 5 to 10 new digital marketing clients this month, you obviously want $5,000 to $10,000 in revenue this month, right? Well, of course, Alex, that's absolutely what I want. So why haven't you done it? Well,
Ballsy. I like it.
And then they think, and they don't really have the answer. Now, you'll get excuses. Oh, I'm busy and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but you just said you can handle it, right? Now, if you can handle it, I can show you how to get this done where you're going to be creating a return on investment. We're going to make you a machine, money-making machine. You give us $1, we're going to give you $1.50 back minimum, or $2 back, or $5, or imagine if we gave you $10 or $100 back. Can you now see the potential? Now it's your job then to convert it, but it's the most simple message there ever was. Now I will tell you this one very important thing, because I think transparency is very important on these types of calls. One, a lot of people believe that this is a bait and switch. That's up to your positioning and how you believe it is. I can see why you'd think that. It's really about how you position yourself on the call, but I can understand why you'd think that. I personally would not allow myself to not message that because you're worried about their reaction. Their reaction is F off, so okay, move on, whatever, no big deal. The other side is just be a person of integrity. If you're a person of integrity and you care about the people you work with, then there's no problem with bait and switch. You're not going to be concerned about that. It's just an effective way to get someone's attention. And if they ask you about it, well, why did you approach me like that? Well, let me ask you something. Go search your email right now for free leads or marketing help. How many messages or emails do you have in the last year? Oh, 500. How many did you answer? None. Okay, why'd you answer me? Oh, because you need those clients. Okay, that's because I understand my market. I understand your business. That makes a big difference. I like it. Ross says that's lit. If it's lit, it can't be better. It's impossible. So I love it.
Ross is the man. What's up, Ross?
How you doing, brother?
Awesome, dude. So we have a call in 45 minutes. I know we can go on forever. I don't know how much time you got here, man, but I want to move to inbound a little bit. We just went over some outbound, literally just got like an entire strategy that you can use on LinkedIn to get started and start taking action right away, generating connections. And we also just gave literally stuff that we've used, the exact verbiage,
Can I share my screen
to generate customers. What's that?
Can I share my screen?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. I want to show you guys something pretty crazy. Oh, it looks like it's going to make me add it. Hold on, let's see. Okay. Can we see?
Loading.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I'm about to show you something that I have not showed anyone outside of POD, so everyone here is going to get access. You brought up Martin Rogers, so I wanted to show this. This is something that Martin and I had created for his industry and his company, and this is going to blow your minds right now. I think you're going to really love this. So what I always talk about is foundations and building, an actual opportunity to be successful. And that starts with a system. One major thing that I focus on heavily is the idea of not being a bottleneck in the business. Now, I talk it in a negative space. So God forbid something happens to me or you, Nick, God forbid, in the worst case scenario, and you're suddenly out of commission. How does someone take over you? It's very hard to replicate you. Very hard, but the best business owners, the top CEOs in the world, know the importance of delegating. Do you know how you can delegate? By creating an actual system. Now, what I do in Prospecting on Demand is help you create this system. What we're doing here today is not system. We're telling you methods to go out there and create opportunities. Great, that's awesome, but we all know what's going to happen. You're going to get sick and tired, you're going to get fed up with it, and you're going to stop doing it. You're not going to end up utilizing the system. This is how you create a system. This is just a simple method of how you can do it. This is a lucid chart, okay? On this lucid chart, it shows you how you can actually reach out to people. Do they qualify? How you got in touch with them. Did they accept my connection? You can send a chase message if they didn't. Then you offer a video audit on LinkedIn. You add them to your CRM. You add a tag to it so that you know where they're coming from. Then you go through a LinkedIn automation. You've got 2 messages here. I won't click on them to be fair because that's their content, but there's actually messages in here when you click them. Did they visit the page? If no, you send them another message. Did they visit the page? Yes. No, you send them a third message. Did they actually complete the audit? Great. Then you go to stage 2. What's stage 2? Audit and follow-up calls. You complete the audit and you go through it. I wanted to show you guys this, not so you can copy and paste it and utilize it. The focus here is so you understand that you can actually create a system for your business for prospecting and sales. That's the biggest thing. By far, the most important thing is actually building a system. You've got about 2 2.5 business weeks left in the year. Are you going to focus those 2.5 weeks on just doing a whole bunch of random shit that's not going to work? Or are you going to focus on building a system that you can then utilize either yourself or hire someone to do it in January in 2018 and make 2018 the best year yet? That is why Martin today posted that. Not because just of that system, but understanding the mindset behind stop just taking only random action, but creating a system. Now, again, Nick, myself, Balls, we all say to you today, you still must just take action. You don't need to create a system before you take action, but it's a requirement that you don't just take action forever. Don't just go to December 12th, 2018 with just random action taking, because you're going to get sick and tired of it. You're going to get sick and tired of it. You must have an actual system, something that you feel confident and comfortable in that you can hand off to someone. I wanted to show that before. Very
Being
important.
aware of systems and getting them in place as you do start to roll up for people who are mid-range, have some clients looking to scale up. Most important thing by far. Tim Conley, who we're actually going to have on here tomorrow, told me something back in May that just kind of blew my mind. He's like, look, Nick, if you do the same thing that got you to $150,000 a month, you're going to be stuck at $150,000 a month. You have to get new systems, new scalability in place. So yes, you can work your way up to 10K shotgun approach. You should get 5,000. Go lose a couple clients. By the way, you're going to lose clients, guys, just as a heads up. Shit happens. Not everyone has a 100% retention rate. Don't let that blow you off either. I don't want to make it scary and say everyone's going to leave. They're not. But retention and keeping them long term is a whole nother hour-long, massive long phone call
100%.
as well.
Just random action, like Nick is saying, random action can bring you $5,000 in revenue up to maybe even 50. It's possible.
Oh yeah, I would say 50. We did start cleaning up. And then we hit 250, and then we went above 250, and then all of a sudden our processes weren't where they need to be.
Right, exactly.
We hit like a little dead end, man. We had some kinks in the armor. So what are we focusing on right now?
On a house of cards. Don't build your business on a house of cards. Build it like a pyramid with cement foundation. You will be confident forever if you do that. Otherwise, you're just trailing on eggshells, and you're going to crack. And it will crack.
I want to touch on something that Alex said. So setting up your systems is great. All of that stuff is great, but don't stop taking action in the beginning. So one of the things a lot of people focus on, it happens to me, it happens to a lot of people, is that, hey, I need to have all these ducks in a row. I need to have my processes built out. I need to have I need to know what happens in each step. But the thing that they're missing is they've never had enough conversations to know what happens in those steps to create. So if you're not outreaching, you're not constantly doing all that stuff in the beginning to understand that process workflow so you can optimize it, you're just making shit that's not going to work for you anyway.
Exactly. And again, all you have to do is just put in your calendar every day, 60 minutes. If you can't do 60, just put 30. If you can't find 30 minutes to prospect, to reach out to 10, 20 business owners a day, you don't deserve to be an entrepreneur. You're not really invested in it. Just put that on your calendar. Just make it happen. It's not that hard to do. Then you can build your systems as you go along.
Sales above everything else. If you can always sell, you're always going to be all right. Number one most important thing, got to have enough leads, got to have enough stuff going on. Another great one that I've said on here a couple of times that I love, Alex, you might like. Again, it was back from John Lugar and Tim Conley. Love those guys. They said to me, it's you need to stop thinking of yourself as an advertising agency. You're a sales company that sells advertising. So we're sales first and we sell advertising. It doesn't matter what we sell as long as we got a position to sell it. You know what I mean? And that was a huge mindset shift for me. And I loved it, obviously, being a sales background, sales guy and everything.
So guys, everyone that's watching, can you let us know if you have a system for prospecting below? Just write SYS if you have a system. If you don't, just write no, because we'll know what you're talking about. I just want to kind of get an idea of everyone that's here. If you have systems, if you don't, if you're confident in them, if you're not, give us an idea of where you're at, and kind of go from there. You want to talk about inbound marketing? Let's kind of give this a go.
Yeah, definitely. We might even need to do a round two, man. Because we're gonna have to cut it short. Me and Balls have another call we got to jump on here in a half hour. But let's
here's one thing I will say then at the top of this, so you understand where I'm coming from with inbound leads. Here's the most important thing I will say to everyone here. If you are making less than $5,000 a month, don't do inbound marketing. That is my opinion. I'm very strong on that opinion. Why? $5,000 might seem like a lot right now, but it's really not. Things change so drastic in life. I'm not just talking about business. In life, that you really have to be prepared for those things. You cannot, people say why do companies, on average only spend 2.5% to 10% on the highest level for marketing budgets a year when I'm making $5,000 and I'm spending $3,000 on ads? Well, the reason why large companies do that is to hedge their bets, to ensure that no matter what happens with marketing, it's an investment. So if the investment fails, they didn't invest everything they had, right? It's like if right now you put all your money into Bitcoin, not knowing what the hell you're doing, and then it explodes and you lose all your money, was that a smart investment? No. Okay, but what happens if you put in 5% of your income into it? Is that still a lot? Sure. But is it an investment that you're willing to make? Okay. Now, does that mean that you can't run ads or do inbound marketing if you're not making more than 5,000? Of course not. You absolutely can. I just strongly believe that I wouldn't want to be put in a position that you spend $1,000 or $2,000 in ads that don't go your way the first 2 months, and then you lose a client suddenly, and now you desperately needed that ad spend. It's just scary. It's just a scary thing.
That's exactly why I systemize cold email, and like Nate mentioned, he's just starting the cold email because it's such a cheap way to do it. And I just took it and I said, here's a systematic approach and here's how you do it so you can get this system built and then work on your other type of prospecting so it's already doing it for you. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, so I like the idea of, for like cold emails, easy like method to set up. Balls, you got a great course on that. You guys can just go in there, utilize that, set it up, go on QuickMail, and just, either hire like an Upwork person or just buy some lists that are quality, not shit, quality, and just have those as like opportunities for outreach. It's not like the most effective strategy ever, but it can work. You can get clients from it, and there's not much effort you have to put into it. It's really
once it's built, it's just you just get a consistent
plug and play. That's the
whole point too. Have enough conversations so you can craft that message, get all that stuff in order for when you're ready to systemize an inbound process. Right?
Exactly.
So I want to jump in real quick because I don't want to cut the inbound conversation short. Alex, how about we do part 2 next Tuesday, man? Or even like Thursdays. Let's jump back in because there's a lot. I love cold email prospecting. It took me to a couple $1 million a year, whatever, a couple $100,000 a month. Recently, I've been doing a lot of inbound, so I have a lot to talk on this subject as well, and I want to connect with you and share as much as we can.
I want to
cut it short.
I'm cool with it. Let's do that next week. I want to clarify something though. What I don't consider cold email outreach as an inbound system. I don't consider it. I consider it outreach.
It's outbound.
Yeah, for sure. No, inbound, I didn't mean that at all.
Inbound is ads or a referral system.
Yes, 100%. All advertising, bro.
We're on the same page.
Just go click on my website if you want it. Yeah, so we're doing a lot.
Ask that question.
So I was going to say, anyone who's on here, give us questions. He just gave a ton on LinkedIn. We just talked a little bit about cold email setup. Let us know what questions you got. We'll take for about 10, 15 minutes here if there's questions. But let's do it again. Let's just plan next Tuesday, Alex, if that's good with you. We can confirm afterwards. I'll make a big post about it because I definitely don't want to sell it short on the inbound because it is important. And I do think the importance of omnipresence and being everywhere is going to be huge.
We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow, too, our fuck-ups from 2017 about omnipresence and all that shit. We got some stuff to talk about on that. But yeah, I definitely agree. Next week we should have a full dedicated session to just inbound. I don't do as much as Nick or Alex on the inbound. I'm building some stuff out now. I have done it in the past. I've ran ads in the past. We'll talk about that next week.
There's so many different inbound like ads and methods you can utilize. There's a lot we can talk about. I'll bring some stuff that you guys can utilize. I'll leave you guys with a couple things. First of all, Edward had a question. I'm going to call you out here, Edward. That's not a question. You asked me, how do you close a client over $3,000 a month? That's not a question. That's not a question. Remember what we spoke about in the beginning of this call? What was it? Specifying your message, specifying what you need. If I asked you, Edward, hey, can you help me? On what? On what? How can you help? How can I help you on anything? Close a client on what? What are you closing them on? Here's the simple understanding of sales, and you guys have done this a million times, and everyone knows it. Pain point, solution. Does your solution match their pain point? If so, you're closed. It's easy. That's it. You have to really have a real question, though. You have to have a real question there to be able to really dive in, and that's like a full understanding of that scenario.
Edward, something, can I find companies that are larger in revenue to not waste my time with lower budget clients? Yes, you can definitely get those lists, especially LinkedIn. You can use Sales Genie. You can pull out data, reference it. There's so many databases you can get revenue numbers of companies. One thing I will caution is if you're not clear on your offer, on your message, on what you can provide of value, you're not going to get too far in that conversation.
Correct. And that's exactly it right there. It's a great example. Like Edward asking us a question, but not being specific with your message. What can we do? You have to be extremely specific. It's so important. Ed asked a question, how often do you guys call behind your cold emails? I love this question. So I call, not personally anymore, but my team, I have my team call probably, I wouldn't say every, because that's not true. But every like major cold email campaign that's not a random outreach, because we do some of that are random outreach, like, oh, we have this list, outreach. Then we have like specific targeted campaigns, like we want this amount of people to work with us from this list. We will follow up with every person on that list. Usually on our campaigns, we won't do more than like 100 at a time, because if you do more than that at a time, it's extremely hard to track and follow up appropriately. Also, if you do the campaign really well, you have to be realistic. What happens if I hit a home run with this and I send 100 emails and 50 people want to set a call? It's not going to happen. But what if it did? Can you handle 50 calls right now? Time-wise, we'll say no. It's literally impossible. You can't do that. It's not possible. So I think it's very, very important to call behind cold emails. I do it all the time, and I just follow up with my message. So one thing I do with my messaging, and I think you guys can utilize this very effectively, when I call someone up, I let them know, first of all, that I'm calling because I had reached out to them on Facebook, email, LinkedIn, and I wanted to make sure that you received my offer for whatever it was that I offered. If I can't speak to you now, you can reach back out to me here, and I will send you another email with my contact information. But I'm not here to talk now. I'd like to schedule a call. You never call to talk about the business then. You schedule the call because they're not ready to talk about it. Very, very important. And I think that's a key. Chris asked
I want to jump in. Hold on really quick, Alex, because I want to set mine really fast, and it also actually goes back a little bit to Edward's thing. Number one thing, finding larger revenue companies, easiest way to know that they're good advertising fits, fucking look in the newspaper. Newspaper, Valpak, look at the direct mail. Newspaper is so expensive, guys. If you've never talked to a newspaper rep, it can cost $15,000 for one Sunday ad in one run in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not kidding. Atlanta can be $28,000 for a Sunday run. Newspaper, best way to look. That's the best way to go, Edward. Make sure they're spending money elsewhere. As far as the cold email follow-up, one thing I want to get in here and say is because I do targeted email blasts. That's how I got started, Alex. Very specific, going after specific clients. Would send them custom emails. I would actually send a handwritten note. If you know this person is spending money, you know they're good, I would send a handwritten note. And then as soon as that note dropped, that day I would call. I would call within 24 hours of when that handwritten note dropped. And my success rate, out of every 10 emails I sent, I got 1.5 clients. Not 1.5 responses, but 1.5 clients. So I know that every 10 videos I made, that's the type of numbers I would get. So email, direct mail, and then hit the call with them. So I love that direct mail piece. Yes, it's time consuming, but if you know it's a good prospect and you're targeted and your messaging's on point, and you know that you can help them, and you know that they're advertising, jam them up until they tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, direct mail is one of the main methods that I utilize. We still do it every single month. Now you can do it handwritten or via a actual just a standard like Google Sheet and just print it out. What I'd also recommend is if you want to do handwritten but you can't write and you don't have good handwriting, there's actually companies that will do it for you. I'll show you one as an example. One of my clients sent me this. It's very, very nice. And it's like a nice written message. It's not handwritten. You can get it handwritten, but it's not. This one is from Send Out Cards. There's a lot of other options that you can do. So it's really, really nice. I want to send them out to my POD members. Yeah,
this was not handwritten by us. This is a return to mail because we did a direct mail blast a couple weeks ago, or I don't remember when it was. And then they literally wrote, and guess what we did? We put a little coupon in there that we had that said, hey, receive this, kind of like they were free Google. And then we had little thing, and this doesn't need to be this nice, guys, don't worry, but then it just went like that. Literally, we blasted all those out. We hit like 500 offices. Guess what? We made money off it.
Yeah, it's the best. It's so good. And again, even if you don't handwrite it, you can still do it. Like the focus here is just take action. It doesn't have to, everything doesn't have to be perfect. You will learn. And here's one of the probably the biggest closing things I could share with everyone. Alex, I get this question all the time. Alex, what do I do when I try something out and it doesn't work? The method doesn't work. I listened to you and Nick and Balls, and I did everything you said. I went on LinkedIn and I messaged people and I texted my friends and I cold called and I did the cold emails. I did it all and I didn't get anything. Why? Well, let me ask you a question. You want us to have all the answers, right? But have you considered that your audience has better answers than we ever will? You know why? Because what Nick, myself, and Balls are telling you is what we've done and what we've offered to our leads that have got us clients. Now, you can replicate that process and grow, but how have Nick, myself, and Balls been able to optimize our processes? How have we made them smarter? Well, it's very simple. Besides for our own 80-20 and learning what we could do better, how about asking? Someone says to you, no, I'm not interested in your offer. Why? Why? Can you tell me? I would love to know. Here's how you do it, though. And you don't just ask in a simple way, like in a snotty way. You ask it in this specific way, and I think this is probably the best thing we can close out on. And you will learn so much from this. Your audience knows best. Your customer avatar knows best. You send them an offer via email, or you message them on Facebook, and they're not interested. Now you message them back and say, look, I'm really trying to craft an offer that I know either you or this niche will really appreciate. Now, I thought that this would really work, but I'm trying to better myself just as you are every single day. Would you mind sharing with me what you did or did not like about this? I'm not going to sell you anything or bother you anymore. I just really like your opinion. I really appreciate the feedback. If you do that, you will get people to give you literally an unreal list of information. I'll give you a great example. When I started prospecting on demand, I created a beta members group. Why? Why did I create a beta members group? It's very simple. I wanted their feedback. I don't think I know everything automatically, but the audience certainly knows what they need. So I asked, what can I add? What was the most valuable? What was the least? What was important? What wasn't? When I ask them that information, they can provide me with the best. And guess what I did after that? When someone would say no to POD, I wouldn't say, well, screw you, you're off my list, I don't want you, you're terrible. I'd say, no, I appreciate you, I appreciate that. Now, I believe you're a great fit for prospecting on demand, so I'd really love to know why you didn't want it. Now, it's not because I purchased another course, I'm a part of this, or did this other thing. I'm asking for actual real value. Tell me what I could have done better. Your sales page wasn't good enough. I didn't find like a short video to explain it. I had to watch a 6-hour webinar. This information will give you the insight you need. Nick, myself, and Balls can come on here and tell you methods, but your audience will tell you the exact specifications of what they're looking for to say, yes, sign that dotted line, and hand you that check that you so desperately want. Ask. Never, ever be afraid to ask. That's where we started with. You must ask in the first place, and you must ask when the opportunity doesn't go your way, so you can brush it off, learn from your experience, and be better and optimize on the second go-around. It's all it takes. That is all it takes, my friends.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. And I think let's end it with that. I have so many things else I could say, but dude, next Tuesday, let's do it for the same time. Let's just plan it now. If you're open, you're good. Let's do it same time. We'll do part 2. Guys, everyone, thank you so much for coming on. Alex, as always, I love it. I cannot wait to dig in deeper. I want to dig in deeper to the ask method. I want to talk about a lot of things just went over there. But guys, we got to ask. Closed mouths don't get fed. Just always remember that. You know, just they don't get fed. All right, so everyone have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with another superstar, Tim Conley. He talks tons about scaling agencies, building agencies, doing that type of stuff. So we'll have him on tomorrow. Alex will have you back next week, man. With that being said, thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. See you soon.